Talk to Me Tuesday on October 3rd, 2023. I am juggling many projects at the moment, as I'm sure all of you are. Talked about the Christmas quilt that I started that was a sample for the shop, Hip Stitch, where I work, and I did get that pieced. And then the professional long armor that does samples for Hip Stitch. Quilt Icing is the name of the business. Her name is Tisha Kavanaugh. She has quilted it, and now I just need to bind it. I put this cool paisley, the line is Winter Garden from Henry Glass, I believe, or Studio E Fabrics. I think it's Henry Glass. And that is also going to be the binding because I had enough left over there. So once that is complete and ready and for sale at the shop, I'll link to a picture, or I'll include a picture, and I'll link to where the pattern and the kit are available on the website. Speaking of Christmas quilts, I attended a workshop with a woman named Ann Magateri this past weekend at Hip Stitch, and she had been teaching in Santa Fe and Sedona, but she was willing to teach a couple workshops for us on improvisational piecing, and she was doing a block she calls In the Doghouse, and it has a focal fabric. Hers was dogs in the door of a house, but it's an improvisationally pieced house block. And she helps people figure out how to do their trees, their houses, just how to kind of like free themselves of having to have a pattern and work on that. So I had a blast, y'all, and I decided that since I do not have a Christmas quilt here at home, that I needed to make one. I have a bunch of Christmas scraps that are left over from other projects, tree skirt, things like that. So I took all of my Christmas scraps, and I took cats with me to put in the doorways, and it's going to be a Christmas cat house quilt, and I had so much fun. So this was my first block, and as you can see, my roof was really wonky here. It was sticking out way further on this side, so I decided to unpick this area right here and turn it into a carport. So that's what I've got there. And I've got my cat in the doorway, giant cat face. I am using scraps also of sparkly fabric I have, fairy frost and stuff, glitter grunge, things like that I had in my stash. My second block, I have always wanted to try curves. I even bought a class from Crafty a million years ago to do it, and could not get myself to actually try it. I watched the class, but I never actually tried to piece any of the blocks. My second block, I decided, Anne heard me say that I hadn't gotten up the nerve to try curved piecing yet, except doing circles and paper piecing, right, where you're doing all straight lines. And she said, let's do it. Give it a shot. So I did. And I made snowdrifts, y'all. Check out this block. So it doesn't have a cat in the doorway. It has a walrus. There's a walrus wearing earmuffs and a scarf in the doorway. I made my trees, my wonky trees, my wonky little house. It's more of a walrus hut. And first I did the trees, and I added the curve here, and then I did this section with the house, and I decided to add a curve here, right here, to match up with this one, and then I added this section here and did all of this. And I just cut it freehand with my rotary cutter. It was so liberating. I just cut it freehand with my rotary cutter, and following her tips, sewed them together, and it worked. It worked. I'm not scared anymore. So be prepared to see all sorts of curves showing up in my quilts now because I just love it. It was really fun. And I love how different these are, but yet they'll still go together. Where's my other block? And then this was my last block that I got done. I only got 3 done. They're all different sizes, and I will just have to sash them and stuff and find a way to make them all work together. That's part of the process. This one had different cats, and the same sky and the same house as the first block, but a different roof, different cats, and a different sparkly for the snow at the bottom. It was so much fun. I just can't describe what a great day it was. I really enjoyed it. So I've got this bag of all my sparklies, scraps, and larger pieces. And then I've got this bin right here with my Christmas fabrics that aren't earmarked for another project. And I'm going to keep working on those. And hopefully by maybe mid-November, I'll have that done. I'm not really sure. I don't have a deadline for it because it's for myself. So we shall see. And then, oh, what else? That thing hanging up behind me. I decided I wanted to use up my Halloween scraps. So I thought, oh, I'll make another quilt, scrappy quilt. So I got out all the scraps. I was going to just string piece or something. And lo and behold, I forgot. I had this panel that I bought during the pandemic on clearance. It's a glow-in-the-dark skeleton. The dimensions of the panel do not make it fit within the parameters of the quilter's palette panel pattern that I used for the Spellcaster's Garden. But I did some initial math, and I think if I resize the squares to 8.5 instead of 6.5, I can make it work, because this is way too long. But if I make the squares 8.5 inches square instead of 6.5 inches square, and just use fewer squares, I think that I can make it match up. We shall see. So that's going to be an experiment. I do not have a lot of big pieces of Halloween fabric. So once I get all of the 8.5 inch squares I can cut out of the fabric I do have, I will probably just do some piecing, like 9 patches and things like that for my remaining squares so that I can use them all up. Oh, and I'm wearing my tie-dye long sleeve shirt that I got at Sabres while I was in Austin visiting Jennifer O. So, yeah, that's what's going on here. Improvisational piecing. I did not think I was going to like it as much as I did, but wow, that's going to be a great skill for putting together orphan blocks too. So I can see myself having a lot of fun with Project Linus quilts too. When I have done blocks before for swaps and things like that, when they were just like strip type blocks, I really didn't like it that much. But making an actual wonky picture, adding the curves, I mean, doing all of that, I really dug it. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But I hope that you guys are all well. I hope that you have had time to be crafty in the past week and get to be crafty this week. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye!